看到了。哦。
接什么那个YouTube 的那个 channel 是谁？OK， 还没有过来看看。
过来，那么 leave it live. Facebook 的时候 should be live also. I mean Facebook you should receive already. 嗯YouTube 喺 Heriot-Watt Malaysia. 有冇？喂，佢 off 啊，咪。
The world's facing a lot of challenges.
There is so much that needs to be improved within our infrastructure globally.
We need to be prepared to meet any challenges that come towards us in the future. We have to look for solutions in a global perspective.
To critically think.
How will our cities be planned?
How are you going to build a bridge that will outlive you?
What role will I play in making a better future for my children?
You have to connect with people and translate what they want to have into something real.
At the start, when it's just a design, it can be scary.
Part of the design process is to fail. You have to go back to the drawing board again and again.
You are collaborating with so many other disciplines, architects, engineers, tradesmen.
To solve problems.
Heriot-Watt has opened my eyes to what's possible.
We have to use the limited resources we have to accommodate the growing population.
Use wave technology.
Affordable housing.
Move on from petrol-based infrastructure to electric.
We must work together.
Create a sustainable and energy-efficient future.
Accountancy and finance makes the world go round.
It's involved in history, it's involved in politics. There's so much more to it.
This is a global university.
People from all across the world, so many different possibilities.
The more people that converge towards a common goal, that industry will prosper. Why industries differ.
How can we empower women using accountancy and finance?
Capital gains, markets.
Environmental accounting.
You need to be passionate.
Driven.
Responsible.
Inquisitive.
Heriot-Watt's got a great reputation for getting students into graduate jobs.
We can be leaders.
You shape the path for yourself.
Making the change that we want to see in the world.
Which is what this course is all about.
Where would we be without business and marketing?
Consumers and people, they underpin everything.
Our world needs our industry to explore.
It's extremely helpful to study international business with all these international people around.
What steps can we take to improve the environmental crisis?
How can I play a role in the water crisis?
How can we have a more ethical supply chain?
It's our generation that needs to make the changes and start to implement them.
SWOT analysis,
entrepreneurial capabilities, sustainability,
work-life balance.
How can you bridge the empathy gap with your customers?
Create a business that disrupts everyone else.
We could kind of go into any industry.
But while running it, making a change,
the marketplace will be determined by creative thinkers.
Education should empower our students beyond academic achievements. It should build character and the soft skills needed for success in life and to enhance personal well-being. It's all about cultivating a sense of purpose, which will lead to making an impact on the world around us. At Heriot-Watt University, we call this positive education.
I'm a writer.
I am a bridge builder.
I am a light bulb.
I am a change maker.
I am a catalyst.
I am a breath of fresh air.
I am a peacemaker.
I am a soul warrior.
I hope to communicate to other people my own sentiments to express what I feel about issues in today's world.
My purpose is to help others develop a personal understanding and perspective of the world around them. I aim to encourage the sharing of opinions and perspectives.
Jacob Lamb, Dubai. I chose to go to Dubai, it was just a bit of a dream and a bit surreal to be able to go there for 3 months and study. The teaching quality was exactly the same, but what we were studying was different, which made everything a bit new and a bit more interesting. I went skydiving up off the Palm, which was fantastic. I'd never been scuba diving before, so that was something really amazing. It was whatever I put into it, I got out of it. It was finding about how I as a person could survive and thrive. It was really challenging myself.
Adris Hanif, Malaysia. The Malaysians were very hospitable and very nice people, and the way that the classes were done, everything was all done as they normally do in Edinburgh, so there were no issues academically. While I was there, I took the opportunity to go do some traveling. I ended up traveling to Singapore, Thailand. I feel that my confidence has improved a lot because my networking and teamworking skills has improved substantially, so it'll be quite helpful for when I finish my degree and go looking for a job.
Florence Ong, Edinburgh. I've always wanted to pursue my studies in the Europe country, especially in the UK. I was pretty scared before I came. I expected it to be really cold.
Next 2 weeks from now. We are celebrating our 10 years anniversary. We are started in middle of the year, but then it's the year that we are celebrating. 10-year anniversary. So yeah, before that we were not in this campus. We were in the Putrajaya Council that side. Then we moved here in 2004, I think. Yeah, 2014 we moved into this campus. Yeah, so we are celebrating. So it's quite a long time now. Been here for a while. Yeah, the building is still new. It was designed and built based on Heriot-Watt requirement. Yes. This year, 2021, we started with 1821 in Edinburgh. That is the first started of the university in UK, and then we are celebrating 200 years new anniversary. That's why it's like this year is 2200. Next year we are talking about 10 years anniversary. Malaysia, yeah, it's quite nice though. What courses that you did in OtsMath? Okay. So in which subject that you're particularly interested? Physics, good. Yes, I assume so. Yeah, it's important because this is a two course as the fundamental of any engineering courses that you choose in future. Yeah, in particularly these two courses that you have to be.
Sound check. Okay mo?
Sharon, should we turn on the lights or we remain as the color writing? Can I? Okay, good. Shall we? Mm. Five minutes. Okay. Let the online audience join us. Yes.
I think the type is
Blocking.
blocking the, not the blocking actually.
The voice.
Yeah.
The sheaving voice. Okay. Yeah, it's quite normal. You get a bit of delay. The goal already, then only you got the goal. On each of them and eventually put them back all together. That's the important being engineers. And that's why you can see a lot of engineers nowadays also working into corporate and they go into management. A lot say, hey, why engineers are being CEO? A number of engineers, a lot of CEOs in the top company are engineers background. Although they eventually never practiced as engineers, but they came from engineering background. Their first degree is engineering. Because of that kind of a thinking skill, the way they're analyzing situations, making decisions. Sometimes you need to make drastic decisions for certain benefit of the company, and you need to analyzing all the scenario before you make the right decisions. That's why Nowadays, a lot of a company like to hire engineers, background doing non-engineer work. Serious. You look at Maybank Investment Bank, right? They hire a lot of engineers. Why Maybank hire engineers? Because they're actually getting these engineers to look at a project that they want to invest. Serious, I'm telling the truth that there are a lot of people that my students I know they join Maybank Investment. What are you doing there? They said we were tasked to look at, for example, I want to invest on a new construction company projects. How do I know I'm making advice decisions? So you need engineers to give you advice, not business. They want engineers, not finance. Finance, they know everything, they can calculate the ROI, but they want to look at the risk. How do I mitigate the risk? Being an engineer perspective, analyzing all these situations. Yeah, that's why I say engineers is hired in different area, doing non-engineering work in investment. Yeah, but the skill set, the activities, the knowledge that you have is important. Sure, shall we? All right, thank you. Good mornings, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming to my talk. Today I'm going to do some sharing about engineers in achieving net zero. So before I start, let me introduce myself. I'm Danny Ng. I'm the professor in chemical engineering. I'm also the associate head of school in EPS, which is engineering and physical sciences. Those are all my recognitions. This year I received one award from the Tan Sri Emeritus Professor Agustin Ong, International Special Award in Innovation Invention in Palm oil. So my research is mainly on palm oil industry. So that's why you can see my research area working on sustainable palm oil. How do I convert the materials or waste from the palm oil industry into value-added products? And I'm also working a lot on biorefinery, and recently I started a venture into optimizing the value chain into achieving net zero. So I'm sure that some of you hearing about this net zero terminology in various news article, media. I'm sure that you type Google, you can find a area, everyone is talking about, all over the world talking about net zero. So today I'm going to touch base a little bit on what is net zero and what we are and who we are, how do we contribute into the net zero. So I will start with giving a bit of background about net zero in this agenda. Why we need to talking about net zero is really start about because our carbon emission is increasing over the years due to various reasons. I'm sure that all of us understand that we are using a lot of fossil fuel for our transportation, for our industrializations, energy production. That's the major cuts of it. And then of that, we also have a lot of emissions from the productions, manufacturing. All the products that we have today is actually manufacturers. So you need energy, you need material to produce them. Therefore, during the industrial revolutions, we have a lot of energy consumed to do this product. And that's where we are today, and that's how we have our lifestyle. Can you think about 100 years ago, I don't think anyone having air conditioners in their house. But now, you go to every house in Malaysia, I'm sure, at least one unit, at least. They might have more than that. At my house, or more than that. Although I don't use that often, but I actually install them. Why? Because of this kind of a living lifestyle that we have, more comfortable. And also, carbon emission has caused a global warming. I think when I was a kid, already receiving education from the teachers, we talk about, oh, global warming, the temperature of the rising of the planet is increasing. But what is actually impact to you? A lot of people say, the warm, we have the ozone depletion, blah, blah. A lot of the discussion has been talked about that. But what actually impact? When I was young, I don't see that direct impact to my lifestyle. Oh yeah, it seems like the temperature is increasing, and so what is this? I think that has caused a lot of issue over the years. Since I think the last 30 years, you can see in your eye, you can feel it for yourself. All the issue of global warming has been raising the concern. So this particular net zero agenda is talking about, we have increased our carbon emission over the years. What has it caused through? It has caused the global warming. And therefore, they start looking at, if we continue a business as usual, how we live today, do we have enough space, enough emission, the temperature, the planet can take the load that we are releasing to the environment. And that is why they are looking at, if continue what we are doing, we no longer able to live in this planet in the next couple of decades or century. This planet is no longer exists. I think recently I watched a movie. I enjoy movie, by the way. One of the movies called Film. If you watch that particular Tom Hanks' latest movie, he talked about the Earth after, only 3 persons in the entire movie, by the way. Only himself and the dog and the robots. That is the projection of the lives in the future. You no longer can walk outside of the shed because the UV has basically overexposed. You get sunburned immediately when you go outside. This is how, like I say, I always like watch movie because you can see future and you can visualize, you can image yourself how it will be if you do not protect your environment. That's why I said that movie, basically only 3 people in the entire movie, if you have time to watch that, it's 3 people, the dog and 3 persons only. And it really presents us what is going to be future if we continue and not protecting our environment. Okay? That's why you can see this is all the speculation, all the projection, all the analysis you can do. If we are just continuous business as usual, plus we are doing today, we talk about Kyoto Protocol went back then, 1990s, we are talking about Kyoto Protocol, and then we have COP 1, 2, 21, 22, 23, so many of them. But it's just a pledge. And try on reduction of carbon emission, they have talked about carbon reductions in terms of carbon energy storage and things. They have a lot of work has been done. But that only brings us this direction where we still not meeting into where we started back in a century ago. Okay, and that, what is the impact? You can see all these pictures. This image is a real image that I downloaded from the internet. It's real. It's not something fancy. It's not in the movie, but it's real. I also watched YouTube recently. I noticed polar bear has changed their diet. I'm sure if you have opportunity, go to do a bit of doing. Polar bear have changed their diet. Instead of eating fish, they're eating animals. Because they have depleting ice, they have no more proper kind of habitat, they have to change their diet to eat deer. They found a deer, I saw the video, it's really capturing a polar bear eating a deer. It's a change of lifestyle, it's a change of habitat that have been in the environment. Other than that, forest fire. I think we have experienced that heavily in Malaysia, especially over the year we have haze. This year we are so fortunate we don't have much haze because of MCO. A lot of people say MCO is bad. Yeah, I totally agree MCO is bad for us. But indirectly, MCO give a break for the environment to heal. I also like to share also, when you can read the news during the MCO, you can see turtle returning to the seashell, to the beach to lay the eggs. You can find fish in the river. You go to Klang, Sungai Klang, you can see through the river during MCO time. What does it mean? It means human activity has been polluting the environment, has been generating a lot of waste, and generating a lot of emission to the environment and increasing load over the years. If we do nothing, as I said, you do just like what you used to be, it's fine. What is going to be our future? Like I said, just now I was sharing the movie, that is the future you're going to see. Okay, and you see drought season, tornado. I'm sure that you read news also, USA just recently get a tornado hit in the whole states. It was quite normal that the tornado is not something interesting in US. By the way, I was in US when I did my postdoc. So it's not something very exciting or something unusual. It's part of their life that they get tornado. But what is the things that they're now noticing is the damage becomes more severe and the frequency increasing. And this is part of global warming issues. Whether you like it or some research has been shown, this is part of the change of our lifestyle and change of how we live in the future. If you do nothing business as usual, this will become more frequent, this will become more severe. Flooding is just part of your life, and then you just get more damages. And is that what you want for the future? You should ask yourself. And therefore, in the latest COP, which is COP26, I'm sure you also read the news, and this has become a very hoo-ha in the newspaper. And they want to achieve net zero emissions. What is net zero emissions? We want to bring down the emission that we have producing today to a certain level that we can let the planet to breathe, let the planet to heal, and then to be sustained for our future. Okay? And this will actually, they pledge to revisit how do we bring down the 1.5 target reachable. You can look at the graph just now. We are looking at 1.5 here, where you want to bring it down to carbon emission net zero. That's the true net zero they want to achieve. But now, based on the pledge, we are just ranging still a bit, but it's still better than what we have today. So bring it down. So it requires a lot of invention, a lot of technology, a lot of commitment from all the world, country, people, everything. Therefore, when it comes to net zero, it's not only talking about we change our car to electric car. We change the carbon emission, cut down from the carbon emission in the emission stack. No, that's not. It's the way how we live. Shall we actually change our room temperature instead of 18 degrees C when you sleep all throughout the night and then bring a thick jacket? Can we actually set 24 where you don't really need a thick blanket to sleep over? It's the lifestyle. It's the way that we live for the environment. It's that kind of mindset we have to change. I said it's everything, including material use. Now they are talking of CO2 only. This is the first phase. They're talking about carbon emission because that is the easiest to measure, that's the easiest to reduce. But in the future, a lot of my research is working about not only looking at carbon emissions, but we look at material consumption, because material consumption also contributes to CO2 emissions. That's part of my research, so it's beyond what they are talking about. Policy always comes after my research, probably 10 years later, then they will utilize those activities I do. That's why being a researcher, we always take the frontier of what we are doing. And they were talking about a lot of financial commitment to the developing country, because a lot of developing countries, they don't have the ability to do it. You want them to deploy the technology to all this, you're not able to do. For example, replacement of the fossil fuel car into an electric car. How much is the electric car cost you comparing to a normal diesel car or normal petrol engine car? It's at least 2 times higher. That's why Malaysia launched this policy. Oh, we want to get all the electric cars. Then everyone will just say, I mean, how much will it cost me an electric car? Do you able to get the electric car equivalent to the price of the MyV, for example? What is the electric car available in the country? All the BMW, Mercedes, Tesla, all the brand that you know I'm naming, it's not something that we normally people are affordable. So that is the change, and that's not something that is easier to solve. It's a very complex things that we are dealing with. And these are the different countries that has been committed to net zero. So you can see there are still about 73% of people have committed to that. But they have no clear plan how to achieve that. Some do, some didn't. Some of the advanced countries, for example, Japan, USA, England, they start to develop because they have the ability, they have the resources, I would say, they have the money to spend to do it. But what happened to India? What happened to South Africa? What happened to Bangladesh? I don't think they have the capability. So even they pledge, I want to do this, but how? It's something that a lot of development, a lot of the discussion has to go on, a lot of work has to be developed, has to do it. Okay? And then this is also we want to achieve net zero by 2050, because if we don't do it by 2050, our planet will gone. It's not reversible. If you learn chemistry, I'm not sure, I mean, I hope that you learn a bit of chemistry. What is reversible reaction and irreversible reactions? If we do nothing until 2050, just business as usual, our planet will be irreversible. It means it no longer can heal by himself. You cannot bring back where you used to be, okay? And how our ancestors lived, or even our current lifestyle. as I said, the movie will give you what is the future. Take time a bit of watch. If you go home tonight, you can watch that, enjoy that movie. Okay, and already in the Netflix and so it's already everyone channel, so it's something that worth to watch. And therefore, this is the conference that they want to push it to bring us into net zero. Okay, so Malaysia also committed. Our latest prime minister, we have a number of prime ministers. The latest prime ministers have committed 2050 to be achieved. Malaysia has to be 2050 also net zero. Therefore, he actually launched this RMK 12. I'm sure you heard about what is RMK Malaysia, Rancangan Malaysia 12. Under the section, it actually put a lot of attention into net zero. But it is a very challenging task for us to do. It's like I said, it actually changed the entire way we live, we do business, we work. I was looking at the information in the different countries. They only started up launching Malaysia got net zero standards, but only selected industry in the world. It's developed by the European country. They only have aviation industry because they always thought aviation is one of the carbon emissions that's high intensity. They also have several, I think, energy industry and so, but not all industry has been developed. And there are a lot of gaps. I'm sure, for example, palm oil, European country will not do it for you because they have no time and it's not their interest. Malaysia have to come up with their own strategy to develop our own plan for us to do this roadmap to achieve net zero 2050. I was having a meeting yesterday with one of our chair, because I'm involved in Academic Science of Malaysia. It's one of the elite group in the country talking about all this national policy, and so I'm involved in this as well. We are talking about how do we strategize the country to get this net zero footprint. We started with buildings because one of the easiest low-hanging fruit is building. How do we transform the building to be more green, more carbon reduction, negative carbon emissions for the building? That's what built environment is doing a lot. And then how do we do the process in manufacturing? There are a lot of works to do in the future. And this is also one of the projects that I was involved in back a few years ago before the net zero was launched. We are talking about what we envision ourselves to be in the 2050. And like I said, it's led by the Academic Science Malaysia. I was one of the contributors to the project. I drafted the section called infrastructure for the country. So first few things, we have to do a futuristic thinking about where we want to be, how we would like to be, and our future nation. That's the future nation. Okay? And then you can see there are a lot of area of work that we need to do, especially in science and technology development. Covering from people talking about flying cars, but really the real flying cars. And you can see all this when we do a futuristic thinking, right? I also like it, I enjoy movies. When back then, 20, 30 years ago, when I first watched Star Wars, you have talking about the person who talking to a screen. Okay, talking to a screen. Back then, we don't even have a handphone. See, a handphone, you have to climb to the tree to receive the one. Probably your father or even your grandfather have the generations. That time already, the movie already showed us, hey, we can talk to someone in the screen, we press a button, you have hologram. Even Avengers, right? We talk about holograms. You can have a meeting, people sitting in the door, when we press a button, everyone gone. It's hologram. But this is real, coming. I mean, in the movie, I don't think that time the technologies exist. But they just invented it, thinking about out of the box. But now, hologram is coming. With 5G deployment, Putrajaya soon, they say Putrajaya Cyberjaya, I'm waiting for it. Hologram already exists. Prototype already exists. Owned by Ericsson. I was sawing the news also. They actually have the hologram. Not like the level of the Avengers, but then at least you can speak with someone with the feature in front of you. It's an AI. But future, I'm sure that it will be developed up to a certain level. But transforming to what we have today into that, you require a lot of technology development. And that's just what I mean. For the future, you're going to talk about hypersonic airplane. We are talking about high-speed train now. You see the Tibet, they have the roads now. You can really reduction of the time that you travel, and that's the future. Future transportation mode. Space travel. Now we have this. I mean, this project was launched 5 years ago, before I said. We're talking about travel space, because this is envision something that we're going to be. but already you have the SpaceX. Something in reality, you say, oh, okay, but it's not affordable, not everyone affordable, but it may be. Future, everyone doing it, not only SpaceX can do it, Aerospace YZ, and everyone can do it, just like airplane industry. Transport, I think when we were young, when a kid, my grandfather traveled to, it's a business class. Everyone travel on the plane, it's a business class. You have to wear coat or batik. You cannot wear singlet and t-shirt and slipper go to the plane. They won't allow you to enter the plane. I'm not sure whether you have been to that experience or you've seen that kind of scenario before. When my grandfather, I remember he was taking a plane back to his China. He's from China. So he actually had to wear coat up, batik, very nice, and then go on the plane. It's not like anyone, like after AirAsia started, everyone can fly, you can wear slipper, everyone can go on the plane without anything. It's a different kind of lifestyle change. So it become not luxurious, it's everyone can travel. Same goes to SpaceX, it's everyone can travel in future. It may be just part of your tourism. They, I want to go to the moon, I book a trip, then we go to the moon and then come back, part of life. But in order for us to really achieve that kind of lifestyle, how? There are a lot of development required, technology and tools and things. And drones, I'm sure drones is part of the life already. Whoever have started thinking about drones can do a lot of things. Now with drones can actually fly your products. I'm sure that Shopee or Lazada or all the logistics companies starting to use drone, thinking about drone to delivery. Because it saves time, saves speed, you don't need human driver. You just put it there and then go fly. Go to robot, I think back then we also never thought about waitress job we lost. Now waitress can lose their job during MCO. I went to a certain restaurant, they actually put a food in the robot, ding, then you go to the whichever table that you have. This is all change. And in order for you to have this change, you need a lifestyle change, you need all the development technology. So in order for us to achieve all this dynamic change, all this idea, we need to launch something called a national SDI policy. As I said, I was contributor one of the sections. And this SBI was launched by KJ Kyrie. It's really push ourselves into a high-tech company, high-tech nation. And looking at the net zero is part of the inventions that we need to be high-tech nation and sustainable. We cannot be just high-tech without sustainability. Because if that's the case, then you will not, wherever you live, as I said, you need another planet. That's why some people are talking about, can we get another planet in the different parts of the world? And there are also a lot of movies saying that you have to do a space travel for 80 years before you arrive at the name, one movie, another new planet for yourself to grow your human. This is the things that you do. But before we think about space traveling, go find a new planet, can we actually preserve our current planet? Can we do something for our planet? That is sustainability. And this policy is actually looking at high technology in the same time, how do we make ourselves more sustainable? So under this technology, this framework, this SDIE, this policy, we came up with various projects and various niche areas that we should focus for the next couple of years. This until 2030, facing towards the 2050 that we are looking for. Okay? And this, as I said, this is the project that we will develop under the Academic Science Malaysia. And this framework is now adapted by all the ministries. Because ASM is always the think tank of the country. They come up with a new idea, they look at the visions, they do the foresight for the country, where we want to focus so that we can bring our nation together. It's actually chaired by a lot of the professors, all the experts in the country who have a very long vision. And I work with them, I learn a lot from those senior members. They are really can see the beyond, how the country was developed until the futures. So they can see that. So you can work with them and then you learn a lot from them as well. So they come up with this different area, different economic sectors, different technology drivers. Because in the country, in order for you to get funding, in order to get impact, and you want to get support from your citizens, you need to ensure every sector is protected and supported. This is very important. This is part of if being a politician, you need to make sure everyone is inclusive. And that's why in our project, in this project, is actually talking about inclusive society. No one left behind. Regardless you are H20, M40, B40, everyone is supported. Everyone should be grow together to be sustainable. Okay, so they have identified a lot of areas, so I wouldn't go into detail of each area. But one of the few things that I want to highlight is you can see there are a lot of technology, a lot of invention required to be developed for us to live where we are in the future. And for example, any of them, manufacturing, transportation, smart manufacturing, they talk about how do we make it less human, required, more robotic. That's require a lot of engineering, common sense, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then they divide into not only looking at economic poster, we also look at social well-being. You want human, you want robots, but sometimes you need human touch. Humans still prefer talking to human. You know, I always use the example when you call to the bank, you always speak to those computer. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that. But can I press 0 to speak with the operator? Human. So this is how the development of the human, we still need to cater, easy the lifestyle, but at the same time, you still need to have a human touch for your audience, for your customer, for how we live. We still prefer to talk to human. Just like when MCO, everyone was talking to the screen, including myself. I told my staff also, I said, hey, I'm not speaking to a lot of crowd since MCO. I'm not sure I can speak with them, but I try my best. I've not spoken with any of these students anymore because it's all online. But hopefully by now reopening slowly, we have a new norm, how we live. You know, everyone have to wear masks and things like that. Physical distancing, I think that actually hopefully can bring us back. And then, for example, like family gathering, all these things, you need human touch. You want to be there. So how can we develop ourselves or having a new lifestyle to achieve all these ideas? That's why well-being is always focused as well as the economic poster. So one of the challenges that you see just now, all this screen I show you, net zero, future development, high-tech nation, we require a lot of engineering, a lot of science-based development. Because you look at phone, it's actually become more and more fancier, the screen become better. Who are those people? It's a science-based students. Business student cannot develop any screen, they cannot develop any technology, cannot develop AI, cannot develop. This is a future they require. So, but the challenge we face now is we need more science product. We need more science policy. We need more science development. Unfortunately, our newer generation doesn't want to do science. This is the stats that I collected. 42% say I'm not good in science. This is SPM holders, SPM leavers. 35% say I'm good in science. I don't want to do science. No one can ask me, science is so difficult. I'd rather go economic, business, accounting. 35% not good in technology. What it means, we need more product, we need more development, we need more things for our own future. Unfortunately, our future generation said they don't want. They guys let somebody else do it. But the somebody else is who? We're depleting the student. Basically, you can see my school is getting smaller comparing to the social science school. Because students don't want to come, because they found it difficult. They found it very challenging. Therefore, anyone sitting in this room or hearing my talk, I hope you can still remain in science. Because we need you. The country needs you, the world needs you all to remain in science. Without you, my future will be don't know what. So, you know, I will be retired one day soon in future. I need to grow the future generation for the continuous development for the country. You don't want to have a gap where, you know, until that time we have no longer the generation have to support the development of the country. And then only realizing we need to do more science, then we start promoting. But you have a gap year, then your country develop cannot move. You will stop. And then the whole world development will be stopped. And this trend is not only in Malaysia, just for your information. It's global. Global science stream students getting less and less. Because they are said difficult, doctors need to spend 20 years before they can really earn back the money that they spent. This is reality. This is all people, newer generation mindset, they don't want to think about science because the science is difficult and challenging and not earning a lot of money. That is the perception. But as I said, you look at the development of the country, we need you. So I hope that you can still remain with me in the future. This is one of the lists that I collected under the critical occupational list, right? CLO, under Malaysia, one of the agencies that collected this. You can list here, all engineers are needed, critically. Why? As I told you, we have less and less engineers. We have less and less students want to do engineers. And that's why a lot of people say, hey, AI 4.0 are going to replace all your job. Engineer got no job and low pay. In the newspaper, they always say, are you an engineer only, never get your salary increase in the past 20 years. Yeah, but depends what quality you are, number one. Depends whether you are involved in the latest development or not. If you are in the right pitch, I'm sure you are well receive a lot of money. And then living lifestyle is not something that you have to worry about. The job is there. It's just getting the right people to do the right job. And as I say, IR 4.0, will we replace human? Yes, it will be. But being an engineer, you need to change the way you work, change the way you operate as usual. Do not do the repeating job. What it means by repeating job? If you just make a screw, my job is going to the work and put a screw inside a hole. I need a computer, I need a robot to do the screwing is more accurate than you. This robot will not apply for leave. So being a manufacturer, I'm sure I will deploy a robot instead of human. But if you become the inventor of the robots, will you get replaced? The answer is no. If you be replaced, then who is going to invent the new robots? So the new work that you're going to do in the future with all this engineering is going to be higher level. You are going to be the developer. You're going to become a designer instead of the person who doing the drill the hole, putting the screw, and so on and so forth. Okay? And just go back a bit for those who doesn't know what is engineer. Who are engineers? So you can see these are the pictures that I collected from internet. When you get engineer, this is what it come out. There are a few things that you're going to see, observe. Number one, all of them are wearing the red hat because of safety. Why they have to wear this and the PPE? Why? Because it's part of their life, part of their role to be knowing the safety is important. Being an engineer, you are playing a very important role in safety, especially chemical engineers. Okay? So we always say, you know the knowledge. You are the one who protect your employees because you are the one who designed this machine. You are the one who designed all these processes. You know what is the risk that you are taking. If you don't design it in the correct way, you don't protect your employee in the future. If there's any leakages, any explosion, who bear the responsible? You can say it's not me, someone operator make it, but you have not played a role being an engineer who designed the plant to make it correct or different layer of support. You know, when we do, as a process engineer, we have to do multiple layer of safety to ensure it's really, really safe for people to operate for the next couple of lifespan of that process. Okay, that's his engineers. Some students say, you see the picture of male one. I know, okay. We have a lot of female engineers, and we need more female engineers. And therefore, I actually started a project with Heriot-Watt University. It's called WISE, Women in Science and Engineering Scholarship. So we give a certain scholarship to all the students who are good. We want to develop a female science-based future leaders. And that project is, now I hand over to my staff to develop the students. Really, we give them a lot of opportunity to engage with the female leaders, how they work, with the policymaker, and so on and so forth. We want to develop them. We want to train them. We want to give them opportunity to grow so that they can be the future female leaders. And like I said, we need more females. So don't think this engineering job is only for men. No, it is required female. And I always say gender equality is important in the industry. Why? Males are very superficial. They always see things very far, that never go into very detail. This is the nature of man brain, how we develop. Female have tendency to go into details. You can say that you can tell the difference between your father and mother. Your father will say, big direction, we go here. But how to drive there, don't know. Go there and go there. The mother will say, we have to plan for your food, put for your whatever you want to do, to plan the trip, to go to the trip. They're going to pack the clothes and things like that. Your father said, okay, bring the car, drive there. That's me and my wife, I would say. I'm not sure about other family, but that is how the nature of human, man and female.
It's the difference. And therefore, in order for you to really get the industry to grow, you need both. You cannot avoid one gender, another one. Because you need to work on a project. If I just designer, I just say, okay, I want to do this process, but I need someone to really check all my calculation whether correct or not, right? So that's female is good at it because they can do the detail. They are very passionate to do all the calculations, comparing to the men. Men are good in graphic, but sometimes step-by-step calculation, they might be not, I would say, a bit careless because it's the nature of human, okay? And men can skip several steps before you jump into, you can see the conclusion before you start, sometimes. Sometimes it's correct, sometimes it's wrong. So you need to work together to break this. Therefore, female is needed. And who are engineers? Engineers is actually a words that are a Latin words that we have. This include means cleverness. Okay? And what engineers do? Okay? Before we talk about net zero, all this next generation, what engineers do professionally previously? I mean, we focus on health of the environment. We're talking about sustainable of life. We're talking about resources, we're talking about energy and safety. Last time I mentioned safety. These are the three elements that being engineer need to be. So before I talk about net zero, so when it comes net zero, obviously who is the most important role to play in the net zero? Engineers. Who is the one who play more important in the nation development? Engineers. But people don't see that because they always say, engineer go to work and all school. No, that's not the right work to do. But being an engineer, you really need to design new products. I always say, when you have a new phone, who is actually the inventor of this new phone? You look at the back of the team, they are engineers. They can be electronic engineers, they can be mechanical engineers, they can be mechatronic engineers, any different engineering discipline. But generally, they are engineers. Okay? What we involve being an engineer, we do research, we do development. This is one of the projects that I was involved designing a dryer for a pellet plant. Okay, so they could put in a biomass, they dry the waste, and then become a pellet for coal replacement. It's part of the strategy to reduce carbon emission in the power plant. So we involve in design. Design is a very important element. That's why being engineers, we put a lot of emphasis in design. I put a lot of design course in design in the course development so that you will involve design continuously from the first year all the way to the final year. Okay, we involve in processing design, sales. Some people like to do sales, yes. Operation, yeah, we do operation, we do maintenance. We do construction, this is more civil, manufacturing, education. And that's why I like to do, and that's where I am. A lot of people ask, Danny, why are you going to be a lecturer? One thing that I feel like myself is I like to share knowledge. Being an engineer, if I just go to practice as an engineer in a company, my expanse of knowledge is very limited. I only can deliver certain level of knowledge into my work. But being an academic, I need to train my future generation. My impact is bigger. I get future generation to do the work that I want to do for my future. Nowadays, I also start venture into my real research area. People will say, hey, Danny, you're a bit crazy. Yeah, I'm a chemical engineer. I work in aging society. Something that I want to do. I say, why you do aging society? Because I say, 20 years from now, I'm going to be aged. If I don't plan my future, who is going to plan for my future? Wait for my future generation. Better plan for my own future. So that is what I'm doing. So again, this is my side job, my side research area. So nothing to do with my profession, but I really want to do. And applying my knowledge, how do I develop for my own future? That's what we do. Okay? And this is all the drawing. You be an engineer, you like to do all drawing. And this is project that I work with. It's real project. I'm designing a biogas power plant to convert wastewater into energy for power generation. Again, sustainable. Why? Because this wastewater is very dirty. We want to extract it from palm oil mill effluent. Why Malaysia? Because we have palm oil mill. We have 400 over palm oil mill in the country. We have so much of waste, and then they need to treat. So we come up with design with my team, design a power plant, and then we extract the gas, and then we generate into power, electricity, and for the operation. This is mechanical. You do a lot of drawing. You see, all this is design. All this is drawing. All this is something engineers do. This is that's why part of the process you learn how to draw all these diagrams and how to put different dimensions and so on and so forth. This is electrical engineers. Electrical engineers got all this, you see, all this code is related. It's real, this is done by my student, not my student. My course under my school. It's done by one of the students. They're actually talking about the logic, open valve, closed valve, control. You need to do all the control. Being engineers, you work as a team. You never work as chemical engineer, mechanical engineer, electrical. No, you work as a team. You look at my plant. I design the whole process, but I work with electrical to do the control loop. I work with electrical to do the control loop. I work with mechanical to select the pump, to size the equipment. I work with civil engineers to design, erect the whole system out. Chemical engineer is just a backbone, but then you interact with all these different engineering students or engineers to work together to build this plant, to make it success. If not, we will not get. Be an engineer, how do you cast a stone? You don't even know how to cast a cement, right? It's not your job. It's civil engineer. Okay? So that's how we do. So where we do? Basically, every part of the world, you need you. Don't worry about job. Don't worry about any industry. You can go any parts of the industry. People say, hey, you chemical, go Petronas only. No. I work in I have students working in SIMW. I have students working in Intel. I got students working in Motorola. I got students working in any parts of the world. Like just now I mentioned to her or him before you all joined. Maybank, investment bank, hire chemical engineer. What are they doing investment bank and chemical engineer? Because evaluation of project. You need investor don't know about technical, so they need someone to look at projects. That's why they need engineers. So what are the main branch? You probably hear me already just now. There are 4 main disciplines: civil, chemical, mechanical, electrical. This is the 4 main disciplines in the country. Okay? Any industry, any first degree that you do, my advice is do the fundamental of the 4: chemical, mechanical, electrical, and civil. Why? Because the bottom one is the specialized degree. It's good, but then if you want to be a professional engineer, you want to open your firm in future, your signed document, right? If I'm a mechanical engineer, I can sign off anything under my mechanical discipline. But not vice versa. Because you are specialized, you cannot sign off anything general. But you are general, you can sign off any specialized. It's the things that you do. This is how you are structured by the Board of Engineering Malaysia. Therefore, my advice is for any first degree students, please consider to do the basic, which is chemical, mechanical, electrical, and civil. If you want to do, I really enjoy doing mechatronic, hybrid between chemical, mechanical, and electrical. Yes, you can. Consider doing it in your postgraduate study. Your life doesn't end here in the UG. Trust me, your life doesn't end here in the UG. Your life is still continue. You still can look at when you start working, you know what you want, then you start venturing into it, you can start further your study. And I personally enjoy research. Therefore, I continue to do my research in my undergraduates. And then eventually now I do a lot of work and then I get a lot of recognitions from the country, being invited, sitting in the board, in the chair, in different working groups for the national policy development. That's why I'm involved in. Okay? And take a bit of understanding about Heriot-Watt. So just now, some parents asking me, hey, we are actually 10 years old in Malaysia, but we are 200 years old in UK. We have started at 1821 this year, which is actually celebrating our 200 years anniversary. That's why you see the flyers, you can see it's 200. That's why we are celebrating in Malaysia. And that's our James Watt. I'm sure you learned about this person, right? In your science, steam engine. Okay. He's our founder, one of the founder, James Watt. So Heriot-Watt is they have 2 persons that actually funded this school of mechanics. So one is James Watt. That's the one who invented steam engine. And that's how you bring the value. And Heriot-Watt has been always thinking about transformations of the industry. And then we are charity, so charity in nature, so that's why we bring into this. Okay, we have 3 campuses: Malaysia, Dubai, UK. This is Malaysia. We have 2,000 work students in here. And then one of the important that started out with Heriot nowadays is called positive education. It's not only looking at academic excellence, but we also looking at well-being and personal impact, your purpose of life. You're going to go through a certain program throughout the course in Heriot-Watt. They will give you a bit of opportunity to reflect where you are, what you want to do for your future, about your own personal impact. And that's what I'm doing just now. Why I'm doing all this, maybe I get paid, maybe I don't get paid. But I enjoy what I do because I know where's my future of my impact. And we have this Empower program. It's part of the curriculum or extra curriculum that direct into different areas. Personal skill, employability, and so on and so forth. And that is what we want to develop the student, not only focus on academic excellence, which is important, but also beyond your academic. Go into your personal and finally find your personal impact. That's why we have something called Impact Statement Workshop, which you're going to learn for anyone who's joining us in the future to find out what is impact statement, what you want to do. For example, like mine, I'm a team builder. My impact is I want to create, promote collaborations across different stakeholders to develop a sustainable, inclusive society. That's my personal impact statement. That's what I'm doing for my life. So you're going to have the opportunity to go through this program to find out. And this is a student of engineers. What they do, they start a new company. Company do what? Biogas. Bring the food waste, convert into biogas, and then channel into cooking gas. And they won a number of awards. This is chemical engineer, this is mechanical, I think 2 mechanical and 1 petroleum. They are engineers. And they work, now they funded a company, they're now going to sell their product in the market. Now they are doing a lot of pitching and then a lot of, they won a number of awards. Magic, you know what's Magic, is one of the development of the entrepreneurs. So we have the opportunity for you to grow on that space. This is a student maker space. This is a space that we allow students to start playing with their toy, 3D printers, and so on and so forth. Invention, development. We have this project, one of the projects that we have to do under the Impact Statement work, the program. What they do is they come up with a campaign to save turtles. Students are actually giving opportunity to not only learning about their technology, learning about their program, but also start realizing what they do for their future. And this is part of the project. One of the student projects, they start a campaign to protect the turtle. They do something, then they actually promote the awareness, how do we protect the turtles. And Standard Heriot-Watt, we have a lot of global transfer. I think you have known that. I think you can talk to the EC for all these informations. Free waiver and then study in international campus. I said we have 3 campuses. We operate as together. And therefore, you can look at the board out there. After the rain stops, you can go out there and watch some of the awards that we won, student achievement and things. It actually gives a tri-campus accreditation. That's the strength of Heriot-Watt University. We receive recognition from all the professional bodies in the world for all 3 campuses simultaneously. We are non-differentiated between Dubai, Malaysia, UK. You don't claim yourself, I'm graduate from Heriot-Watt, Malaysia. No. I'm graduate from Heriot-Watt University, full stop. I don't call myself Heriot Dubai, no. Dubai is just a location, but you are Heriot-Watt University. And that is what we are here in Malaysia. Okay? And you see all these students happy face. This is, okay, this is before pandemic. Don't charge me for all these photos. This is before pandemic. Students are very happily coming to campus. And this is my electrical students. You can see he actually a lot of impact, a lot of hands-on activities that he gained throughout his studies. So this is all the content. If you want to know more about different programs, I'm more than happy to share. And we have teaching, global teaching. We have all the accreditation, as I say, IBM, IMT, and we work with industry. Okay? And you can see my staff are very well equipped, all professional bodies, PhDs, and so on and so forth. And myself, okay, I will take this a moment just to give you watch a quick video about what is engineering in Heriot-Watt.
Year on year, day by day, we already have some sense of how the world is changing. We all know that science can amuse and fascinate us all, but it is the engineer that's changed the world. So, how do engineers make the world a better place? And how engineers can change the world?
Why does the word need engineering?
It's down to the engineered.
Yep, thank you very much. The videos, I hope that you can see the needs of yourself to continue your journey. And as an engineer, as I said, it's important for everyone listening to my talk. I hope that you can still remain as an engineer. Now I'm open for Q&A. For any questions from the floor first? Anyone? You can ask me any difficult question. I might easy always say to the parents, this professor, I'm liking a lot of difficult questions. Give him the most difficult question ever that you have in adults. Yeah, you want to ask anything. As long as something that I can answer, I will try my best to share my knowledge with all of you. No questions? Don't be shy. Yes.
During our study right,
Mm.
I'm thinking of having getting a side job
Mm.
when I was studying.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you recommend as a future engineering pursuing student to take on for part-time while studying engineering? Any benefits job out there that can benefit me in the future engineering path?
Right, thank you. I would not advise you to do a part-time job while you are studying full-time. My advice is you always have a gap in between the April to September. There's a summer break. This is part of the summer break. And I always advise students to go and do some activities related to engineers during the summer break. It can be first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. Being engineers, third year is compulsory. You need to go internship for MEng because you need to get qualified to be a graduate engineer. So for students who are interested, after your first year and second year, you can go out. And then you can register to our student career. They will give you some advice, some company lists for you to venture into. I'm now building some partnership with some new company to build that kind of a rapport to take our students while they are studying so that you can work on engineering-related project while you are part of the engineer program. Because it's important for you to see the real world before you start working on what you study, right? So like I said, it's important for you to really go out to find related engineering work. Example, you go to a manufacturing plant, also fine, Coca-Cola plant. What they do dilution, they do mixing. But it's part of the work that you look at and you know the machine, you understand the operation, it's part of the engineers that you do. Later in future, you want to involve in those projects, you can. You go to wastewater company, you can. Why? You learn about water treatment. Recently, they have a lot of issue about air Selangor, right? Pollution. Actually, chemical engineer is the one who need to deal with. How you actually treat the water? What are the contamination? What are the risks? And how do you treat the water? So you work with civil engineer because there's all water dam, you need to work together to deal with that. How to do the treatment? Either you deploy chemicals or you deploy certain process to treat the water so that it can be usable. So any parts, as long as engineering related, you don't go and tell, I go and become a promoter, then not too related. But anything related to engineering, you can go. And we have some advice for you in the future for the career office in Heriot-Watt. Okay. Any other question? Yes, ma'am. Girls, okay, sorry. Advice, yes. You hear me just now, I always said first degree, preferably you do the 4 main disciplines: chemical, mechanical, electrical, and civil. Mechatronic is part under mechanical, or is something called special branches. If you want to switch in future, because you say, I want to do mechatronic, but if in future, one day I say, I might not want to do this area, I switch, it's difficult for you to switch because you are registered under mechatronics. It's a very specialized branch. You cannot come back. But being a mechanical engineer, you can do whatever you want. And you can sign off a lot of documents in future. So it's just like a general course versus a very specialized course. Both have their own advantages and disadvantages. The advantages is I'm very specialized. I can straight away go to the specific industry, go in there. But one day, if you found that I'm not actually like it, it's difficult for you to come out from there. Okay? While the general one, I can still be specialized. As I say, I always advise students, whenever you talk to me consultation, my advice is, first degree, do the 4. You have plenty of time to do the specialized degree. You can take an MSc. You can do additional training in future, additional certificate. If you think this is something that you want. No hurry to go into a very specific degree at this juncture. You are still young. And I personally enjoying, my wife always asks me, why you always are so serious looking about listening to webinar during this time, right? So a lot of webinars. I enjoy learn new knowledge, so I just sit there and watch all, and then I learn about all this knowledge. That's why no hurry to go into a specialized area because you won't know where you are in future. Just like myself, I actually involved a lot of projects, just a sideline story also. In palm oil, I was a founding director at that time. I work with soil scientists. I work with plants, chemical engineer. I look at how the tree health and then how to grow, all this agronomy. I say, why do chemical engineer? Later, I published a paper with my students, my PhD students. How do we predict the oil yield of the fruits based on the weather and based on the fertilizer program that you have? It's an engineer, so nothing, too much on it. But then I actually come up with mathematical model. Because based on all these formulas, I know how the productivity. I can use it to estimate the productivity, and we can advise the farmer how do you optimize your nutrient applications. So this is again chemical engineer, but not too chemical engineer, by the way. If you talk to any traditional chemical engineer, who's this guy? Yeah, I'm a bit off one. But yes, you can use all your engineering knowledge to do all the activities that you want. Okay. Yes, I answered some of the online questions. Can I transfer to UK to complete my degree anytime? As I said, we are Heriot-Watt University. We are not Heriot Malaysia. We are not Heriot Dubai. You can go to any part of the world, Heriot, to finish your degree. As long as the degree is offered in all tri-campus, yes, you can. And all the program in Malaysia, just for information, my school, I don't speak on other school. The other school is here. So my school program is, all my program is offered in all the 3 campuses. So if you want to go Malaysia, to Dubai, to UK, yes, you can. You can spend a year in Dubai, you can spend another year in UK, and you come back Malaysia, also can. No issue. Yes?
Does it mean that there will be training program available?
This is not training, we are one program. We are one program. It's just centralized in the way that all your study material is identical in UK. You know, I give you an example, very interesting example. Before pandemic, we even have a study tour. Because students not sure, I don't know whether I like the weather there or not. I don't know whether I can go there 1 year after I miss home, how? We actually have 2-week study tour. You can travel there and you just study the same time as it is. So I hope this will resume after the post-pandemic. We know we can get travel again easy. Don't need to quarantine and things. Then we can go. Because we actually send the students for 2 weeks. They study there. They go to the lecture hall in UK. They come back after 2 weeks. They continue their study exactly the same because the timetable, I would say the time material of the 2 weeks is identical. Therefore, you can see why I said we can actually get tri-campus accreditation first in Malaysia or first in the world. We get the tri-accreditation, mean all campus receive accreditation simultaneously. Not different. You can go to other different university. You may talk to them. They actually say, oh, Malaysia get accreditation. UK get their own accreditations. Or the other campus get their own accreditation. They are not same. They might be get the accreditation in different country, whatever. So Heriot-Watt, we submit 1 document. We don't submit 2 documents because that is the commitment that we do. That's the quality that we deliver to the students. We are same. If one fail, if Malaysia fail to do whatever we require to do, right, the whole accreditation will fall. Regardless of UK, all fall together. So that's why I have to spend a lot of time to deal with that. It's not easy to operate as a global university. I tell you frankly, it's very, very challenging. Time zone lah, commitment lah, time frame lah, stuff also always stress out. So I also sometimes have to calm them down. Something that, yes, it's not easy to deal with. But we are committed to it. Yes?
Does it mean that if I were to take an undergraduate engineering, Heriot doesn't offer like 2 years in Malaysia and then 2 years in UK or Dubai?
You can go anytime you want.
Oh, sorry.
We always available. I have get the commitment from the other campuses It's our student. I don't care where they are located. They are our students. They can go to UK. You just have to apply, to write in, to make sure that because sometimes they have capacity constraint, and things like that. But then we will committed to do our best to accommodate all students. Okay. No issue. You just have to apply to transfer only. And by the way, the only difference is you need to pay a different fee in different campuses. That's the only difference. Yes. Yes. That's why I say our 3 campuses is accredited simultaneously. So you do one here, because end day, I always like to use the example. End day, where I don't care where you graduated, UK, Dubai, Malaysia, look at your certificate. No, it's University of Heriot-Watt. And the only difference is the name of the graduates. There's no difference between Malaysia or Dubai at the title. No, we don't issue. And your certificate, by the way, all your graduation certificate is posted by UK. We don't issue any certificate in Malaysia. It's centralized in UK. You're going to get a registered mail from UK to your house to get your certificate, your final transcript, final degree certificate. It's post direct from UK. So that's why we are no difference. We are one university. We are, one of the things that we always say, we are truly connected university. Okay? Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot continue. Right? So I was stopped by my staff. Okay, sorry. Okay. I will be stay around. Anyone have any particular question, feel free to talk to me. I will be around, walking around in that suite. So you can just call any easy. Just tell them, I want to speak with any. I will be around until afternoon today. Okay, nice talking to you. Yeah, for those who are O-level finisher and then or the SPM holder, you can continue, listen. What is our foundation? And it's part of the pathway for you to go to, hi, I didn't see you. Part of the pathway to join my school. All right, nice talking to you. See you, bye.
Hi everyone. So I'm assuming that you guys have just finished high school, probably, the students. Finished SPM, O-levels, and also maybe other equivalent O-levels qualifications. Okay, Canadian or American and so on. Okay, so I am Pravinjit. Okay, I teach maths for the foundation program, and I'm also the Foundation in Science Program Director for the Malaysian Foundation Program. Okay, so Malaysian Foundation Program is specific to Malaysia. We prepare it acts as a bridge, right, that connects high school leavers to the undergraduate program. So it's equivalent to any pre-university course like A-levels, SAM, OSMAT, and so on. Right? Okay? So it's like a bridge, it's a connector. So we prepare our students for our undergraduate courses. So mostly in Malaysia is actuarial science, engineering, the social science courses, business management, marketing, international business management, and so on. And also now we have the computing science. Okay? All right. So my talk today is on preparing students to be fit for future for our foundation program. So our foundation program is very specially, uniquely crafted for our students to progress into the undergraduate. That's the main objective. Okay, and as we know, I think you have read it around. Okay, we are 200 years old, as in from UK, not in Malaysia. Okay, so we are founded in 1821. All right, and we are the world's first mechanics institute. Okay, I think you're familiar with this, James Watt. If any of you have studied steam engines, first industrial revolution, steam engines, right? So it's familiar, okay, James Watt. Okay, so that's one of the founder of the university. Okay, and then Heriot-Watt community of scholars, as in we, the academics, actually focus on creating ideas and new solutions for the world, right? We are well known for that. Okay, and our innovations basically are in the field of, I would like to highlight, all right, business, engineering, design, physical, social, and life sciences around the world globally. As you know, we have 3 campuses, which is in UK, Dubai, and Malaysia. Right? We are globally connected. So Heriot-Watt University UK, the courses which is top and highly ranked is for courses such as listed over here, accounting and finance, built environment, management, engineering, marketing, psychology, and actuarial science. So these are the top ranking courses. Okay. So our campus here, you are in this beautiful campus, all right, there's a lake. Maybe you didn't have a chance to walk around today. Okay, there's a lake behind, all right. So this campus was first launched in we had the opening in 2014, September 2014. Okay, and then right now we have about 2,300 students and 200 over staff. Okay, and just would like to share with you, this purpose-built campus has got very high quality educational facilities, okay, and also excellent environment for you to study. And we have Marina Putrajaya close by, over there, the other side. And the lake is behind us right now. If you have a chance later, if it's not rainy, you can walk around and have a look at our campus. Okay, and and also would like to share with you, this campus was purposely built for under our 10th Malaysian plan, under the Economic Transformation Program by the government. Right, so the UK worked together with the Malaysian government to actually launch this campus, this project. Okay, now Study and See the World, which is our Go Global project, is very interesting program, as our students can actually transfer for as little as 1 semester to another campus in Dubai and UK, provided, of course, the program that you are taking, say you enroll in engineering, is also offered in that particular university. All right, so that's you can transfer for as little as 1 semester, or you can complete your foundation here after your high school. You come to us, you do your Malaysian Foundation program, then you can go to either UK, Dubai to actually complete your studies over there. If you're interested, say, to do engineering 4 years in UK, you can always transfer, right? Okay, and then there is a 20% fee waiver if you transfer to the UK campus, and 10% if you transfer to the Dubai. If you would like to know more about the fee waiver and so on, you can contact our education counselors, right? Okay, now this is the most important part. We as parents, we always strive for academic excellence, am I right? But besides academic excellence, we also need to actually teach our students or our kids some important skills to lead happy, fulfilling lives and face the future challenges of the world. So what are the major future challenges of the world? If you have been reading, reading newspapers and stuff like that, there's something called the IR 4.0. If you're familiar with this, Industrial Revolution 4.0, which leads to Education 4.0. Okay, so Education 4.0 actually addresses the Industrial Revolution 4.0. What is IR 4.0? Okay, so just to ponder, it's mainly focusing on Internet of Things, all right, and some special programs online and stuff like that. So you need to actually develop your skills so that you can address the Industrial Revolution 4.0 that's happening. It's already happening now. So we need to prepare our youth to actually adapt to rapid changes in these new technological advances. So we don't know what kind of advances are going to take place. I think the pandemic has actually speeded up this process even further the past 2 years. Okay? So we need to prepare our youth for employment in the future. So we have gone through just now James Watt Industrial Revolution 1.0, okay, steam engines, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. If you have time, you can read further into these revolutions. But currently, we are at IR 4.0, which leads to Education 4.0. And Education 4.0 requires some important skills. There are 4 main groups of skills, which I will explain in a while. Okay. Okay. Why is it important to actually think about IR 4.0 and also Education 4.0? Mainly is job extinction and displacement will take place. All right? There's a study by McKinsey and Company which produced the report on McKinsey Global Institute analysis, which shows that by 2013, about 800 million people could lose jobs. 2030 is not far away. It's just like less than a decade to 2030. And then 375 million might change job. Okay, this was pre-pandemic, all right? So the pandemic might have speeded up faster. There's no new research done on it yet, okay? All right, so it's so recent. And what it meant by job displacement? Job displacement here means what? Robots will take over all your job? So we need to prepare our youth to actually face this challenge. And how? That is through Education 4.0. I'll go in a while in detail. So there are 4 main components we need to train our youth. Okay. So based on a report by the World Economic Forum, there are 4 main groups as I was explaining. The first one will be problem solving. Okay. Self-management, which we rarely hear about our emotions, about stress control. Okay, it's very important. Self-management. Working with people is a very crucial skill. Collaboration, discussion, presentations, all right? And also technology and development. Of course, that's a major, because it's Industrial Revolution 4.0. Technology advancement is an important element. To address all this, we need to prepare our youth. So how do we prepare? I'll explain in a while in foundation what do we do to address these challenges of IR 4.0. Okay. All right, so besides that, there is a report, this is specific to Malaysia, okay, all right. The school to work transition of young Malaysians, there is a study conducted which said there is a huge mismatch between the skills the employers are looking for and the skills the graduates actually have, okay. And the mismatch mainly is employers look for soft skills and work experience. Work here doesn't mean you expect an engineering graduate to work as an engineer, but like, our previous speaker spoke about having all those industrial attachments in between the breaks and stuff like that. The exposure you have to your industrial training and so on. So that is not done at foundation level, but it's done under our undergraduates, okay? So that also needs to be addressed. That's why the university is looking into finding collaboration to do industrial training, okay? And secondly, there is a lack of emphasis for our education system here in Malaysia on lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is very important. We have to always continue to learn, not just finish your degree and you forget about learning. So learning is not only what happens in the classroom, it also happens beyond classroom. right? So besides that, if you have paid attention to mental health among Malaysian youths, it's very important, our youth. All right, according to the 2017 mobility survey, 20% of adolescents suffer from depression, 40% have anxiety, all right, and 10% are stressed. Okay, so this has something to do with controlling your emotions, managing your emotions. So that's a very important skill which we need to address. Okay. Now, our teaching philosophy here, we actually have a purpose. We actually encourage our students to have purpose, all right, and also craft their impact, what impact they would want to have on the world. Not only academic excellence. Of course, academic excellence is a priority for us. Okay, besides the academic excellence, the 4 important skills that I was speaking just now is really important. Okay, that we need to embed for our students. Okay, and when a student actually crafts their purpose, we have impact statement workshops where the students are trained in a series to craft their impact statement. So once the impact statement is crafted, the student is encouraged to build upon resilience and well-being, which is your emotional control. Okay, your academic excellence, of course, as I said, is the most important element. And also your personal effectiveness, as it in terms of working with others, right? Okay. And and once our students complete all these elements, they are expected to flourish the community, improve the well-being of the community. And how are all this being achieved? Okay, there is an Empower program which all our undergraduate students will go through. Okay, and then it covers the elements of global citizenship, which is a very important element of Education 4.0. Okay, emotional intelligence, how you manage your emotions, as I've explained earlier, is important. People skills, working with others. Okay, creativity, innovation, critical thinking, it's very crucial. And also employability and industrial relevance. So that one is achieved through our undergraduate programs when we have industrial partnerships and so on. Or our students are exposed to real-life challenges. Okay. Now, specific, how are we addressing all this in foundation? Okay, foundation, as I said, is a bridge from high school. You finish your O-levels, your SPM, or any other Canadian American program, and then you do a 1-year pre-university course with us, which is called the Malaysian Foundation Program, and then you progress to your undergraduate courses, your respective choice. All right, so our digital first approach, okay, in foundation, we actually apply the challenge-based learning pedagogy. Challenge-based learning here meaning we craft our subjects as related to real-life challenge. Okay, so the students are given example, I teach math, so I can relate it there, to design a stadium. So each topic is related to the design of stadium. So the students are not going to go and design a stadium, but they need to do all the calculations which relate with the learning outcomes, and they can relate it to the real life application. So students are able to see how the knowledge they learned is used in real life for all the subjects, okay, in foundation. And then, so we also use the technology, as in we teach using a virtual learning environment, and there is a technology that tells us that the analytics tell us that the students have logged in, how many hours they have actually been viewing, how much of work they have actually done when we incorporate activities online, so we can monitor them closely. So students who do not participate in the class and do not submit their work, we normally contact them often, normally weekly, to remind them to actually catch up with the work. All right, so that's something unique about us. Okay, and then our delivery board. Okay, we have both collaborative learning and also individual exposure. Example, we have a face-to-face class, and we also have the online version. All right, we also have the online where the lecturers go in and they do a webinar, discussions and so on. Okay, and all the learning materials are actually embedded and built on a virtual learning environment. So students have access to these materials 24/7. Okay, so they can learn from the material. The materials online are actually of a combination of our own lectures videos, all right, and notes, and also examples. Okay, and also the real life challenges which are embedded in the learning materials. Okay, and then so students are expected to complete certain amount of activities weekly and so on to make sure that the learning is enhanced. And after the activity is being completed, weekly we meet our students at a webinar online. When it was during the pandemic, it was online. Right now we have started face-to-face again. Right? So the students come into small classroom and we have discussion on the activities and the materials that they have already attempted to ensure that the learning outcome of each topic is actually met. Okay? That's how the learning is done in foundation. And then besides that, I would like to speak a bit about our orientation program. So when the students join us in the first week, we have an orientation program, which is called the Fit for Future program. The Fit for Future program is done online, okay, online. So the online orientation program is to prepare students to navigate through the online learning platform, okay, which we will use in our learning from week 1. So the first week, the learning 1 of teaching week. So the first week, the students actually they get familiar with the material, they have group discussions and so on. All right, so if we are allowed to come back to campus next year for the orientation program, then we will have it face-to-face. Okay, right. This orientation week is very impactful for the students. Okay, it's because our learning experience is very authentic for foundation. Yeah. Okay. In all foundation courses, students will learn by exploring learning material, as I've said earlier. All right, and most of the learning material are actually aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Right, so for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And the students also need to reflect on the topic weekly and really measure how they have learned, they have mastered the learning outcome. All right, and they come for the face-to-face webinar or the online webinar discussion, depending on the situation, and they can discuss and ask questions. They can also contact our lecturers for consultation, right? One-to-one consultation. Of course, make an appointment and then see the lecturers, right? To discuss and ask further questions if they're not sure about any of the learning outcome, right? And what is another unique thing about the foundation delivery is the social learning experience. So when students, they are expected to do certain questions and share their answers online, so everyone can see everyone's answer and they learn from each other. So peer learning is really important, right? We call it the social learning. Social learning, not only peer and peer, is also from the lecturer to the student. Because we also comment on the student's work. So if the method is not right and all, we give comments and then everyone can learn from the mistakes done over there. Right? And sometimes the lecturers also share example for that week, that particular question. This is the best working, right? So we share that, just to motivate our students. Okay, so whenever student wants to refer, the materials are all online, and it makes the learning 24/7, not only limited to the online discussion, the webinar, or the face-to-face discussions in class. Okay. So as I've explained earlier, we have reflections, student post comments, lecturers post comments. Then some of it as a combination of a video recording. Sometimes students are expected to write their work and scan the diagram and upload. Okay, complete some online quiz, or we have lots of platforms that we use to give the students an interactive learning experience online. Besides that, of course, the lab experiments, as far as possible, is done in campus. Okay, as far if it's possible, is done in campus. Or not, some of our lecturers have actually been very creative. They have actually created some home experiments, provided it's safe. All right, safe, of course, specific experiments can be done at home to ensure learning. Okay, and then we also have learning episodes with world-class experts, as in we have some of our colleagues from UK who have actually recorded like a short video for a specific learning experience for our students. So our learning material can come from any of our lecturers in Heriot-Watt, Malaysia, UK, or Dubai. They are experts, right? Okay. Now, some of the learning episodes that we also have some from the industry experts in Malaysia as well. And these are all the academics from UK, and this is our principal actually. Okay, so we have, they have contributed some short learning episodes, like few minutes video for our students, and related this to the rail industry experience, so that our students know, okay, if it's, when it comes to, accounting, about this statement, so they know where it's being applied in real life. Not just learn to pass your exams, but to apply the knowledge in real life. Okay? So students will have an idea, because our students are fresh from high school. We give them this exposure so that they understand about courses that what they want to enroll in. They should know about computer science, about accounting, before they actually make the big decision to move to the specific undergraduate course. So this is a very good exposure for our students. Okay, these are some of the student feedback. I've got this from our course experience survey, right? So example for the contemporary business subject, students really love learning from videos, okay, provided the videos are good quality and specific content, right? So our lectures provide the videos and the students enjoy learning, right? And then for principle of economics, we have got a variety of information and resources provided, because online, compared to a traditional teaching, you can have slides, you can have me speaking, all right? But if it's online, we have embedded it all into a virtual learning environment. There's a combination of video, there's a combination of forum discussions, there's a combination of students have to post their answers, the lecturers reflect, and then there's a world-class expert videos as well. So it really helps our students to learn from different resources, and that's how learning in Education 4.0 should be. Information is open source, all right? It's available everywhere. It's how the students actually use it to learn and maximize their learning potential, okay? All right. And for other subjects like maths, like you see, students actually appreciate the online given feedback by the instructor, where we post it online, we comment, all right? Sometimes we post a best solution, and they really appreciate it, okay? Because they help them to learn, okay? And then they feel the content is sufficient for the online learning materials, okay? And instructors are helpful. So for chemistry example, you see, because we relate our knowledge to real life application, so students are forced in a way to think out of the box, okay? And they really appreciate it towards ending of the courses. So we have prepared them well for the undergraduate courses. You see here, it's linked to the real world application. This is something very unique. Okay, so the benefits of the learning approach, I think I have explained some of it. The learning process is structured and organized. So all the activities are linked, designed carefully by the group of lecturers teaching that particular course. So for example, for maths, there are like 3 lectures for foundation. We actually work together to design the entire virtual learning environment for maths. So it's being crafted, and it's same for all 3 intakes. We have, because foundation, we have April, July, and September every year. So the virtual learning materials are the same for all the 3. Of course, the lectures might be different when we conduct face-to-face sessions and so on. Okay? So it's designed very carefully, and they are very well linked to ensure that students master all the desired learning outcomes. Okay, next, we train students for independent learning. As I said earlier, they have a lot of information from a variety of resources. They should be responsible to process them and actually come up and answer the desired learning outcome related questions, okay, and solve all the problems. And improve students' time management, because we will help them, we will guide them. How do you need to manage it? So we release the materials weekly, so students know, okay, by Friday I must finish this much of material. It's very well linked, okay? And it improves students' non-verbal if it's online, because communicating online is a new skill, I believe. Most of us actually started mastering it when pandemic started, like replying to chat messages and all, and the ethics of answering online. So this has also trained them to do that, okay? And of course, in real life, when they meet us face-to-face, we discuss with them face-to-face, just like how we are sitting over here, and they ask us questions, okay? And then next, flexibility, as I say, the materials are available 24/7 for them, so they can always access. And then they can self-monitor their progress, as there's analytics involved in the online virtual learning environment. So students know how much percentage they have done, or they can check how much I've not done. I have to work towards end of the week, I need to complete it, okay? And this one also enables opportunity to self-reflect on learning, okay, through the positive education. Okay, now we, as Malaysian Foundation Program, we also are in line with the responsive blended learning approach by the university learning and teaching community. okay, Learning and Teaching Academy. All right, so in the past 2 years, during the pandemic, we have the online activities and also on campus whenever it was possible. So on campus, of course, is the live teaching sessions, the lab, the studios, any fieldwork or small group discussion, okay, to discuss the learning materials. Okay, and then next we have the Learning Hub, which I've been mentioning, the virtual learning environment. Okay, and also we have online activities where I said students are required to post their answers, post comments. They are required to actually do some online, contribute to some online discussion forum, which will actually enhance their learning experience. Okay? Right, so this is our orientation program that I was speaking about just now. So the orientation is the first week they start is orientation, and then the next week the classes start that Monday. And so the first week they are trained. So what happens in this Fit for Future program? It's a very unique orientation where students are focused to build a positive mindset in line with our positive education philosophy. Okay? And then they are expected to realize their SMART goals and also practice some emotional intelligence skills, okay, which are very crucial. And this will help students to adapt and transition to a new study environment, as all our students are actually fresh from school. Okay? Now, some of the things happens in the orientation, okay, I would just like to highlight. Face-to-face webinars, personal discovery, and group spaces. So this is how the entire thing is designed. All right? So the personal discovery topics that we will expose to our students is the successful mindset, how to be positive, okay, how to set goals. Okay? SMART goals, we will teach them how to actually set SMART goals. Specific, measurable, attainable goals. Right? And these goals will be as far as possible related to them as individual, is specific to them. Example, if they want to master certain skill in a year, so we help them craft real SMART goals. Not just teach theory, yeah? We make them do the SMART goals. All our students craft their SMART goal and actually write it in a form. And they are monitored by their personal tutors. Okay? And something else would be the emotional intelligence, how you manage your emotions. It's a very important skill, right? Especially with our youth nowadays having a very high level of stress. Then we have the DOPE personality test for the students. It's very interesting. Yeah? And also they also are encouraged to plan for their future. At least plan a 5-year plan for their studies. How are they going to complete studies in Heriot-Watt? At least a 5-year plan. Okay, some of them, our students are very good. They plan 10, 15 years ahead. That would be great, but planning 5 years is already great. Okay, yeah. Now these are some of our student testimonial from our Fit for Future orientation program. Okay, so they realize their own potential and they feel empowered. Okay, and it's a 4-day program. Okay, and they actually learn about themselves, because most of our students, they come in with very excellent academic results, but they don't have a self-realization. Like, what's my strength? What am I good at? What's my personality trait? So we teach them all that so that they can use these skills to actually collaborate better in their group work and so on. Like some are leaders, some are not leaders. So they can maybe, if my leader trait is not so good, I need to work on that. So we make them write SMART goals so that they can improve their leadership in maybe 2 years' time. Right? So all this is very important. Some are very good team players, some are not, so they need to improve those skills that they have. Okay. All right, so now, so that's about the orientation, about foundation pathways. Now we have foundation in science and foundation in business, and these are the listed pathways. So for foundation, if you do a foundation in science, okay, if you are very sure, you want to progress to engineering, actuarial science, statistical data science, and computing science. 3 different, yeah? Okay, and also psychology, you can do foundation in science. But if you want to do psychology, you can also be in foundation in business. Of course, different subject combinations are expected. Okay, so I think you will have so many questions on this, so please, contribute to the questions. Okay, that's it. That's all from me. That's about foundation pathway. So if you have any questions, please direct it to me. I will help you to answer. I'm sure the students who have left high school, you will ask me, if I want to do engineering, what subjects do I take, right? Yeah, so if you have any questions, please list it.
And then earlier you mentioned just now on the business and marketing. I don't see that halfway here.
Yes, foundation and business covers all management. It's under the management group.
So the marketing and business is part of the management?
Yes, yes.
So you got a degree or in management?
No. The degree is specific. Degree in marketing is just under the management group or the social sciences lah. We call it. It's a school of social science. They offer all the marketing, business management, international business management. Okay.
So do we have any other question from the floor?
Yes.
The actual science is foundation and in science and business, is it the same?
Okay. Yeah, I know that question will come. Okay, yes. Okay, so it's because to do actuarial science, statistical data science and computing science, the most important subject is maths. And maths offered in both science and business is the same. So the prerequisite always is the maths. You need an A for maths to progress to actuarial science and statistical data science. Computing science, a B for foundation is okay. Yeah. So the maths is offered. So you can be in the sciences. You can take English, you can take maths, you can take physics, you can take chemistry. As long as you do math and you get your A, then you can progress to statistical data science or actuarial science. If you are in business, the subject combination will be different. The math is the same, English is the same. Then you can take either you want to take accounting or computing, or you can take psychology. It's up to you. Yeah. All right. It's flexible. Any other questions? So normally just to put in your questions. Okay, the first question, is this foundation recognized by other universities in Malaysia? Other universities like what? Public or private? Yes, we have students, once they join us, to be honest, if say suddenly they decided they want to do Bachelor of Chemistry, and there's no Bachelor of Chemistry in Heriot-Watt University here, so they go to another university. It's accepted. Yeah. Okay. That's rarely lah. If you change your mind, some students after they do foundation in science, they might change their mind. I want to do cosmetic science. It's not available here, so they do transfer to another university. Can I study at the UK campus immediately? The answer is yes, provided you're accepted there. Then, you meet the entry requirement. Like, actuarial science, you need an A and so on. You meet all the requirement. You can apply, and then you can get into the UK university. Okay. Very good question. Okay. Now, if you do a foundation, say you do Malaysian foundation here, you can progress to our courses directly as long as you get the minimum requirement. As I've said just now, you need A for actuarial science, you need B for maths for computing, certain combination. So for engineering, you need 4 Cs in the foundation in science, all 4 subject 4 Cs. You can progress to engineering. For A-levels, of course, if you do A-level, your acceptance is anywhere in the world, yes, but it depends on specific entry requirements of certain universities lah. So that's the advantage I see. If you do a foundation, there's a guaranteed pathway here, as long as you meet the minimum requirement for the courses. Okay. Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, foundation is 1 year. A-levels is 1.5 in Malaysia. So duration-wise, it's longer for A-levels. And A-levels is exam-oriented. Okay, foundation is run over 3 semesters. So every semester has a grade, and then it's combined. So it's, I would say, in terms of student, is a bit more friendly and to study, because you test certain topic and then you move on to the next. Okay, whereas A-levels is 100% exam, right? In the end, yeah. Okay, that might be a little bit challenging, but not impossible. Yes, dear.
You mentioned how many minimum subjects for foundation in business?
4.
Foundation itself.
4.
But how come in this page?
Or it must be a slash.
Oh, it says English, maths, and additional maths. 3. Am I seeing correctly?
Wait, sorry, yeah. Oh, these are prerequisite. I'm speaking about the current foundation. The only yes, yes.
Oh, they mean the person who must pass these 3 subjects.
Yes, yes. 5 Cs normally for SPM, at least minimum C.
Yeah, but here this column itself, this row itself, the subjects mentioned.
Yeah, because we want students to have English, maths, and additional math out of the 5 subjects.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
All right.
I thought you only studied 3 subjects in that.
Just to clarify, for each foundation in science and foundation in business, whichever route you are taking, right, you need to take 4 subjects. Okay, academic English is compulsory for all, right, and then 3 more subjects. So example, normally I think a few of you are interested in engineering. It will be normally the engineering students, they take English, maths, physics, chemistry. Or they can swap the chemistry, they have the option to take, some of them take psychology, some of them take computing. Especially those who want to do computing science, because FIS you can also do computing science. So normally students, generally if they have no idea what they want to do, they normally do FIS, Foundation in Science. Because it opens option to everything basically. Yeah, because many science background, they don't know what to do, they're not sure. So they do Foundation in Science, and then they can progress to any of our undergraduate courses. So for Foundation in Business, unless you're from business stream in high school, and then you're sure you want to do only business-related courses, then you take maths, you take maths. And English, all right, you can take economics, it's compulsory, or you can take accounting, you can take computing as well for business. Yeah. So it depends on what you want to do. Please make a very good subject choice, because it really dictates which undergraduate program you're going to enroll for. Okay. Subjects? Oh, plenty. There are 9 altogether. Okay, so example I said just now, for engineering, you take English. Academic English is compulsory for both, so you need to take 3 more. So normally say for engineering, students do maths, physics, chemistry. So you can swap the chemistry with computing. You can swap the chemistry with anything else. There's another option, psychology. Okay, that's for science. For business, there's many, say students who want to do actuarial science, computing science, data science, they normally take English is compulsory, right? They take mathematics for sure because that's a prerequisite. Okay, then you take economics is compulsory for all business students. The 4th subject can be business management or psychology. Yeah, you can swap, interchange. Yeah. So, any more questions? Entry requirement, 5 Cs. Depending on the course you want to choose, minimum 5C. 5C in your IGCSE subjects. Right. Okay. Any more questions?
If you prefer to ask questions anonymously, you may also go to www.pigeonhole.at and enter the password.
I think they cannot hear. I think they can't hear. I got no marker. Any more questions? You can ask me. You don't have to write there. Oh, if you're interested for foundation, yeah, sure. Meet our education counselor, and then you can fill out the form and register. But before, sorry, they are here. I think she's asking if they are interested. So, first floor. Okay, the office is over there. Yeah, you can just walk there and register. There's a counselor.
Let me show you to our education counselor. Would you like to go now? Would you like to go now to see the education counselor? Okay.
Okay, okay. All right, for the course fees, details, exact fees and all, please, I'll direct you to the counselor. All right, they will know the exact fees. All right, okay. About 23 lah, about 23K. 23. Yeah, she wants to go, I guess. Okay, thanks, Jessica. All right. Sorry? April, July, September. Every year, 3 intakes. $25 maximum.
25 packs
Maximum.
in one intake.
No. One class.
Oh.
So 100 over lah. Normally about 180. We split lectures is bigger.
Yes.
Tutorial class about 20-25 students.
Oh, lecture is like auditorium like this?
Something like that. Yes.